Hey, thanks for taking time to hang out with me today. My name is Jayne, and I am the head of support here at Aplos Software. So we just wanted to give an opportunity to show you around the software and show you some of the functionality so that as you're getting comfortable and more familiar with the software, you'll know how to utilize it best. So I'm just gonna, we'll take about 30 minutes to just go over what the software can do, and then at the end have a little question and answer time to answer some of those questions for you. So as you log into the software, you will land here on your dashboard. So to just give you an idea of some functionality from the dashboard, you'll be able to see some different metrics as well as graphs. So this is going to give you just a quick snapshot of where you're at, where your organization is at financially. You can edit graphs, edit metrics. Here at the bottom, there's a gear that you can change which metrics you want to see. You can turn on and off some of your accounts or change date ranges, different settings so that these graphs are giving you the best information that you're looking for. So feel free to edit this just based on what information you'd like to see when you first log in. You also have the option to, straight from one of your graphs, you can view the report. So here is my cash balance graph. And if I want to see these things in more detail, if I click view report, it's going to take me right to my balance sheet. So it's going to say, here's the breakdown. You were looking at the summary, but here is that information in more detail. So those are available from those graphs there. If you ever need to take a minute away from your computer and you don't want this visible to everyone in your workspace, you can always change it to privacy mode. That'll take you to our tutorials page and hide that information while you're away from your computer. So just a little nice option there. You will see alerts. So if you have any batches that aren't linked to your accounting or some accounts payable, accounts receivable, you'll be able to take a look at those there. Jumping over to your profile, if you needed to change your password, you can do that. If you also donate to organizations who use Aplos, you can look at those here, and then you can log out of your account as well. So that's high level of the dashboard. Again, these things can be changed just based on what information you're looking for. Within settings, your users who have the admin role will be able to access the settings tab. If they have any role other than admin, this tab is not available to them. So it's for the owner of the account or the person who needs the highest privilege within that account. So from your settings, you can change your organization information, put your company, organization's name, tax ID, all of that information here, upload a logo, which shows on your dashboard, and even edit communication settings. So if you have someone who's not a user, maybe your financial secretary, you want them to get the billing information, you can always change that to add their email address here, even if they're not a user in Aplos. So you click Update Communications, add an email, and click Update. If you don't do any of that, it'll just default to whoever's your primary contact. So you have that available there. Next option is users. Here's where you can add any users to your account. So one user will be the single user price as far as pricing goes. If you do add another user who has access to the accounting module, which would be either an admin, manager, account manager, auditor, or accounting auditor, those will increase you to the multi-user price. The other users, donations manager, contact manager, and donor relations manager, do not have access to the accounting module and would not increase you to the multi-user price if you're only at one user to accounting. So you would put their information in here. You're going to set a password for them, so you'll need to let them know that password, which they can log in and change that password in their profile if they need to. So you'll just need to let them know whatever password you create for them. You can also disable users or delete them if they no longer need access to the account. So that is your users page. If you have an accountant, they can create a free oversight account to access your data. So let us know if you do have an accountant who has an oversight account. We can link them to your account and you'll see that here. Subscription on this page, you can change your subscription level. You can change your billing cycle to either bill monthly or bill annually and apply any promo codes as well. So this is where you will be able to do all of that changing. You can see details, see what your transaction rate is for online donations, view details of what donor management offers, all of that here. Within the activity log, this is if you needed to see if a user deleted a transaction, or if you can't find a transaction and you need to see if you accidentally deleted it, you can do that within your activity log. It will keep a record of the activity that occurs within the account. If you have multiple users, you'll see that by user as well. And file box, this is just where you will store your logos. You can store files if you needed to have that available for others to see. Also, if you link a image of a receipt to a transaction, that will store here in FileBox. So you can upload things directly to FileBox, or depending on where you upload them within the software, they will be added here in FileBox. Here's a link to the partners that we have available, so you can take a look at that and learn more here in our partners page. Moving on to contacts. This is where you all of your contacts will live. So if you have a donor and you enter a contribution for them, or if you have a payee that you enter a transaction for in your register, those will all be here in your contact list. So you can add any new contacts manually, put in first name, last name, email address. Once that's all added, I'll do a test one for you. Test contact. Once I do that, I'm going to click save. And now I can add any alternate emails, any phone numbers, addresses, dates, and custom fields, and assign them to a group as well. So with I have donor relations enabled. This is available as a communication piece within the software. I won't go into detail on this, but we can get you more information if needed. But with donor relations, you have access to these 3 tabs, which if you are not using donor relations, you'll only have the details in the transactions tab. So you can look for any contacts within your list here. You can go to the next contact. That will move you through your list based on how they're in there alphabetically. Groups as well. You can create groups. We have a couple groups that are defaulted here for you. So if you needed to add a donor to your group, you'll search for them, check the box, and click save. Or you can look at just who your donors are. Sorry, my page is taking a minute to refresh. It's holding my search. So you can see only who my donors are, or see everyone. So you can always just go through to and check the people that you need to add to that list and click save, and that will increase the amount of your donors in that group. So if you needed to add a group, you'll click add a new group, and create. So now I have that here, and I can then add people to that group as I need. Custom fields are options to add to a contact that is not part of the default information that we offer. So we do have a date field, but you might need to know what date they became a member, or if they attended a specific event, you can have that information there. So this is basically anything that we don't already have default information for. You can create a custom field and apply that to a contact as well. So that is your contact list. You can click into any of the contacts to edit. If you had duplicate contacts, you can merge those. We have a resource I can point you to if you need that information as well. So that is all there for you. I'm going to skip reports for now and go to accounting. So first option is advanced settings. Within the accounting tab, we do have some advanced settings. You're able to show or hide those just based on the functionality that your organization needs. Not everyone needs the functionality, so we just allow you to hide it so that it's not messing up your screen if you don't need access to accounts payable or accounts receivable. So these are optional. You can show or hide them just based on your needs. So that is advanced settings. These are no extra charge. Just some organizations don't utilize all of these, so we just make them optional. Accounts takes you to your chart of accounts. So this is where you can add funds. Here's where you can add your asset accounts, liability, income, and expense. When you do add a fund here, it is going to create an equity account for you automatically. So you'll see that those are listed here based on the funds that I have available here. So if you need to add a fund, just type it in, test fund. You can choose your color if you want to make it a different color just for being able to recognize it a little bit faster, and click save. So here's my fund. Sorry, I chose a color that's a little bit hard to see. Let me change that. Let's make it purple. There you go. So there's that fund there. And you'll see that the fund, the colors carry over to this as well. So if you needed to add another asset account, you can do that. So these within your account group, if I needed to add an asset under my current assets account group, I can do that by clicking this plus button. Assign a number, assign a name, use it as a register if you need, and then save it, and that'll save it there in your list. If you needed to add another account group as well, these are your account groups, these bolder headers. So this is just a way of just categorizing those accounts. You can click add group. It will add a new group for you based on how you title it. And now you can add accounts under that group. There you go. So there's an example there. This is the same functionality in your liability section as well as income and expense. You can also, if you needed to add an account that is that you need to make a sub account. So say I need to make a sub account under building expense. I'm going to call it plumbing. So I want to keep track of what is out of my building expense, specifically plumbing. I'm going to choose my building expense that it is a sub account of. And now, oops, I already used that number. Sorry about that. So now I have this sub account under my billing expense. So those are ways that you can tailor this chart of accounts to fit the needs of your organization. We're going to jump over to starting balances. So if you do create a new asset account, this one is the one I created just a moment ago. I can assign a starting balance, which the total will be over here, but I can break that starting balance up between my multiple funds. So if within my account I have $600, but it's $100 between each fund, then I can split that out to put a balance of that 600, a balance of 100 in each of my funds there, and then that will save there. So that's how you can do that. Let's look at tags. So tags are just a way of categorizing some transactions a little further. So say you have a fundraiser that you are putting on a missions fundraiser and you just want to see if it was profitable or not. So you can use a tag for that fundraiser. So any income and expense you can tag and then look at your income statement, filter by that tag and see how much money you brought in and how much money was spent for that fundraiser specifically. So you can add your tags here. You can enable or disable or delete any tags. So those are an option here in the tags page. Next up, we've got budgeting. So you can create a budget for your different year. Here's my 2017 budget I've started. I can project how much I'm expecting to bring in and how much I'm expecting to spend. So this is based off of the income and expense accounts that you have in Aplos. So good place to start is tailoring that chart of accounts, so then you can move on to assigning starting balance, assigning a budget, so on and so forth. So some options here, it'll show your dates. My fiscal year starts in October. I've set that in my organization settings here. You can change that based on when your fiscal year is. I can show my last year's budget if I want to see how I budgeted last year. I can show this year's actuals to see where I'm at, and then I can even project my budget for the next 3 years. So you can do all of that within your budget screen. You can export that or print it just based on how you need to take a look at that information. You can even delete if you needed to as well. So that is all available here in your budget screen. Moving on to transactions, this tab will be where you will access your registers, bank integration, bank reconciliation, and check printing. So you'll see those options here. The register is where you'll put your income and expense. If you have donations, we'll show you the contributions management module in a minute. But you'll see the asterisks here for the required information. So each transaction that you enter requires a date, payee, amount, whether it's a payment or a deposit, an account, and a fund. Here's where you can add that tag we just talked about moments ago. So all of that is here. You'll see a list of your different accounts, a list of your funds as well, and if you use tags, even a list of those. If you put in a transaction and you need to split it between multiple accounts, you can do that here by clicking split. This will allow you to put your first account and then add another row to split whatever the total is in either your payment or your deposit. You can split it between multiple accounts here. So let's put in a test transaction. So say today I went to Best Buy and I bought a mouse pad for $15. I'm going to put that to my office expenses and my general fund. So I've got my date, my payee, my amount, my expense account, and my fund. I click submit, and here it is here showing up in my register and going along with my running register balance here. If you ever need to search for a specific transaction, say you remember that you had a transaction in there, you need to find it, it's a few months back, you can always search by date. You can search by the account that you used, any of these fields, enter that and click search here. You can export your register as well. This will allow you to either export the full movements or just keep it to a partial and choose your format as well. So let's jump to bank integration. We have bank integration available. It's a tool that will bring in a list of your most recent transactions. So you will be able to link your bank account here, bring in those transactions. I have one account listed already. Here is a list of transactions that I can then choose an account. It's going to give you a list of your accounts here. Choose a fund as well, choose a tag, and then import it to my register. So that's all available to you. If you do not want to import some of these transactions, you can hide them and they will no longer show in this list of transactions for you. So you'll have those available. You can change to different registers if you have all different accounts linked. So you'll be able to do that. Click retrieve transactions to bring in a list of those most recent transactions. Another cool option is if you maybe your bank isn't listed in Aplos, or maybe there's some transactions that you don't see. You need to bring in more transactions that occurred in the past. You can manually import transactions. So most banks allow you to export transactions to an Excel file. And so we have a sample transactions file here. You'll need to format your transactions to this file, and then you can drag it and drop it to import it, which will send those transactions to that list that we were just at. So that's just an added feature to just help bring in that information for you. If you need to add a different institution, you can do so here. You'll see a list, and as you type, that will narrow down those results for you. You also can manage the different accounts that you have to link those there. So that is bank integration. Bank reconciliation is just an internal control to say what I have in Aplos is matching what I have at my bank account. So at the end of each month, typically when you get your statement from the bank, you can go in and reconcile the account. So this is just a cool feature to just ensure that what's in Aplos is indeed what's matching at your bank. So we have a guide on this right here. I won't go into too much detail other than just pointing out you can put the opening balance of your statement ending date, and balance. Let's just do an example to move to the next page. So, oops, I'm sorry about that. Let's do something in the past or in the future. So it'll take you to a list of your transactions. If you only want to see the transactions that are within that date range, you can hide any transactions outside of that, and then you'll just want to be sure that the difference is 0 in order to finish that. I'm going to finish later, and I will show you where you can find resources on bank reconciliation so you can take a deeper look into that. Same with check print. We'll show you a resource where you can find a resource for that, but you can, based on how you bring in those transactions, you can say you want to see transactions from the check register or just accounts payable, You can change your dates to see more transactions. So if I do a year ago, you're going to see a lot more transactions that I could print for checks. So you'll just check off those checks that you want to print, click print. We can print on draft style or voucher style checks. So you'll just choose which check type you have. If you need to adjust margins, say it's not printing exactly right, you need to drop the margin down a little or move the margin up a little, you can enter those margins here, click update configuration, and that will move those things for you. Journal entry, you may not know what the journal entry is even for, which if that's the case, most of your transactions are probably going to go enter directly in your register, but you can submit a journal entry here, or you can do a fund transfer as well. So a fund transfer is if you have money in one fund that you need to move to another, you'll post a fund transfer to do that. So we just have an easy template to follow to help you with that. We also have the ability to import payroll. We partner with a payroll provider called Sage. So you can take a look on the partners page to see more information about Sage. But if you partner with them or if you work with them, you can run your payroll in the Sage module and import it here to Aplos as a journal entry. So you would just upload your file here and import it as a journal entry. So that's just a helpful time-saving tool for you. And then we've got the accounts payable module as well as accounts receivable. So those two are available for you here. If you enter receivable, say you're expecting money from someone, as soon as you enter that, you'll see here I have a list of receivables that are outstanding. So you can put in how much you've received, the date you received it, and you can print an invoice to send to them and receive the payment, which will be located in your register. So once you receive that payment, here's some payments that I've already received. That'll keep your history for you there. Accounts payable module is very similar, just money that you owe to someone. So you'll enter what your new bill, keep track of what's outstanding, and if in this one you can pay bills and print checks, so you can print checks directly from the payables module. So that is our accounting module. Next, we'll move on to donations. So with donations, you can utilize our online donation feature, which you can link your donation, create a donation page and link it to your website or email out the link. A good place to start when setting up donations is starting by creating your purposes. So a purpose is a way that you can track a donation. These can be linked to income accounts and funds. So you'll link each purpose to an income account and fund in order to track it in your accounting. You can also assign a tag for each time you use this purpose. It will allow you to use a custom tag to filter that income statement. So you can create a new purpose here, put in a name. Description is not required, but is optional. Choose your account, your fund, and click Save. So then you'll use these purposes when recording donations. So we're going to skip to contributions management and show you how to do that. So say I received donations on the 13th, Sunday giving. I'm going to, every batch requires a batch name. That's what you see here, these batches. And so I can put check number 100 from Jayne Fossett, and Jayne gave $100. I can change my purpose based on what that donation was for. Then I can move on. Maybe next person, they gave money for my building fundraiser, and they gave me $500. So now I have a batch total of $600. So you can add as many donations as you've received. Best practice is that this total should match the amount that was deposited at the bank. That's going to help out in that reconciliation process. So that way the amount of the deposit that you'll see in your register is the amount that you actually deposited at the bank. So here you can do that, and then I'm going to post this and I'm going to show you what it looks like in my accounting. So if I go back to that batch, I can go straight to the accounting contribution. Here's how it looks in my register, a deposit of $600, and it's split because my purposes are split between different income accounts and different funds. So it splits it out for you based on how you have created those purposes. So we'll go back to contributions and point out a couple other things. Here is where, if you're tracking it in accounting, where you'll put that register that you want the deposit reflected in. You'll see here, let me go back to this batch. This shows that these purposes are linked to accounting, so this total will reflect. If you see any of these options, this will say you have an unlinked purpose. This is an alert as well, so just to check those. Sometimes you might receive an in-kind donation, or a non-cash. These are not linked to accounting because they don't affect my overall accounting total. It could be that somebody donated an item, so that's not a financial increase for me. It's just I want to record that donation to give them a contribution statement, so that these unlinked purposes allow you to do that. If you are utilizing online donations, which we'll go into that forms page in a minute, here are two tabs that you can keep an eye on. Donors can set up a recurring or one-time donation. So you'll see I don't have any recurring donations, but if I did, I'd have a list of those donors here, the amount, purpose, status, all of that information. And online donation, I'll have that information here as well, so I can take a look at those. Online forms, here's where you will create your online donation form. So you have customizable options here. You can change your colors, add a logo, and then have what donor information is required, and then donation options as well. You'll see here I have a few different options to give the donor just to click a button to say they want to give $45, or they can put in a custom amount, one-time, recurring. Here's also, let me show you that here. You can allow the donor to pay the transaction fee. It's not something that you can require them to do. They have to opt in by checking that box, but it is an option. And then the next page, this is not customizable other than your logo and headline, but here's where they will have their billing, put in their billing information, whether it's a debit or credit card or linking their bank for ACH. So that's all available here. Once you do have that form, you'll want to, sorry, I exited that a little prematurely, publish it to make this live. You can change your URL for that form. So if you do at any point change this after you've published, just be sure to publish again. That will make it live. So you'll want to do that. Then here's where I wanted to show you. If you want to add this to your site, you can get a button, or you can get the link and copy that. You can add that to your website there. So that is the online donations module. So there were a few things that I mentioned that we have resources for. So I want to point you in the direction of how our support team can help you. We've created a number of resources here in our support center. So you can type in bank reconciliation, and this is going to give you a list of articles about bank reconciliation. So here is, I have one that is, here we go, how to edit a bank reconciliation. This will tell you how you can do that, how you reopen, how you make changes, and then close that reconciliation again. So you can type in anything here, and this will give you resources that we've created for you. Some of those resources, specifically a lot of them in our Getting Started section, will also have webinars that we've previously recorded. So here's some help on how you can set up your chart of accounts. And then at the bottom, we have a previously recorded webinar to help you with that, and then another video as well. So we've tried to make our support center filled with a lot of resources where there's just a lot of self-help tools. So if there's anything that you can't find, feel free to let us know. Our team's happy to help. Another way that you can contact us is here down in the right corner. You can send us a message. So if I want to send a new conversation, here's our team who's available. We typically respond within 30 minutes. So this is a way that you can say, help. Oh, if I could spell that right. And then one of our team would get this message and see how we can help you. Another option, you can email our team at support@aplos.com, or you can give us a call. Our phone number is 888-274-1316. Our support team is available at option 2. So those are ways that we can help you. Our support is free and our team is happy to help. So if there is anything that we can do, please let us know. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope that this was beneficial for you. I'd love to hear your feedback. If you have any feedback about how we can maybe do this better to provide information that you might be looking for. So thanks for using Aplos. We're happy to partner with you and just look forward to working with you in the future. You guys have a great day. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out to us.